First and foremost, we got to talk about the European Super League. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan are 12 of the supposed 15 founding fathers for this breakaway league to be played in the middle of the week. It will consist of 20 teams, 15 permanent members, 12 of which have already came out, 3 which are still in the works, and then 5 teams will be rotated in every season. And La Liga, Premier League, UEFA have already condemned it, saying that any team that joins this league will be kicked out of their respective league, whether it be La Liga, the Premier League, Serie A, or any wherever the other 3 teams come out of. They have made a joint statement saying that they do not support this, and that players that play for these teams in this European Super League will not be eligible to play in UEFA tournaments, or whether it be the Euros, Champions League, Europa League, and they could also be banned from the World Cup and from representing their country internationally. So this is shaping to be a crazy battle between these 12 teams, 15 to be teams, against UEFA, against FIFA. It's gonna be crazy. I'm talking on Monday, April 19th. News broke yesterday, Sunday in the morning, while the Premier League games were going, before Southampton and Leicester City kicked off. That's when the news broke, and throughout the day, throughout Sunday, a lot of these leaks were coming out, and then eventually almost all of the 12 teams came out with their tweets, with their statements, saying that they're one of the founding teams, one of the founding fathers of these breakaway league. And I must say, the general consensus across the world, across the leagues, across pundits, is that this is a disgrace. This is an attack on soccer. This is going to destroy the pyramid system. And I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with all those sentiments. This is terrible for football. I'm a Real Madrid fan. I'm disgusted that they do this. Real Madrid has a reputation for always going for the money, always being a team that invests in big players, that signs the biggest stars. But this is something else. This is just the owners being greedy, the owners of these teams wanting to keep all the money to themselves, not wanting to compete, not wanting to earn their place in the Champions League, in leagues of high caliber. They think it's their right to compete in these elite tournaments. That's why they're making their own, with no chance of being relegated, with no chance of losing their spot. And JP Morgan, Chase, American Bank, is the one funding this. They're putting a lot of money into it. I think they're offering these teams $3.5 billion for being founding fathers in this league. So it's just very disappointing. Like, the way this is going to play out is these teams are going to make all the money. They're going to take all the allure from the leagues. They're going to take all the entertainment, all the lights, all the limelight away from the teams, from the leagues. The leagues, they have a pyramid system that trickles down to the second, the third, the fourth division. And it's worked. It's worked for like over 100 years in England and Spain. Anywhere you look over Europe, this system has worked. It's been able to sustain the smaller clubs, the big clubs, and everyone gets a share of the pie. With this league, it just basically makes these 12, 15 teams untouchable. They're always going to have their money. They're going to have no fallback. They're going to have no challenges. They're always going to be there. I think it's going to be boring. Like, part of the entertainment of these teams playing each other is that it doesn't happen so often. When you see Liverpool against Real Madrid, when you see, Barcelona and Real Madrid play in the Champions League, not just in the league, it's like, whoa, like, damn, they actually got drawn up against each other in Champions League. Like, this is a whole different matchup. This is a whole different entertainment. But if they were in a league where they play each other week in and week out, I think it will lose that factor that it has, that rareness that it has. And I think that's part of the greatness. And a lot of people have said a lot of good quotes. One of them is created by the poor, stolen by the rich. The beautiful sport of soccer, it grew from working class people coming out of nothing. You could play soccer anywhere. You could play soccer. You don't even need a ball to play soccer. You could just roll up some socks and start playing soccer anywhere. You don't even need shoes. You see this in the streets of Brazil, in the streets of Mexico, and in the slums of England. You don't need shoes. You don't need much to play soccer, to enjoy the game. And you don't need much to fall in love with the team, to support them, to think that, hey, my team is in the second division, third division, but one day, if they work hard, if they have the right management, if they have the right ambitions, they could go all the way up to the Premier League, go all the way up to La Liga, eventually play in the Champions League, play in Europa League. And the same thing could happen. Like, this part of the threat of going down is part of football. I'm thinking about Portsmouth. I know they went into some like financial troubles, but they were in the Premier League. Now I believe they're in the third division in England. That's part of football. That's part of soccer. It's part of what makes European soccer so great. And it just feels like this European Super League is just attacking the very roots of soccer in Europe. It's attacking the foundation of soccer in Europe. And I, for one, am not for it. I've been a Real Madrid fan for as long as I can remember, through the rough years, through the great years, when Zidane left. Now that Zidane's back, I'm disgusted right now with Real Madrid. I can't believe they're doing this. I know a lot of teams are disgusted at their teams that are part of this, and it's cowardly, in my opinion. It's cowardly, but I don't really blame the players. I don't blame the coaches. I blame the owners. They're just money hungry. They're so detached from reality. They look at this as a business venture, and that's sad. That's sad what soccer has gone into. Literally these business owners just look at teams as an investment, as a company. They don't care about the history of soccer. They don't care about the roots. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the fans. They walk the hallways of their stadiums. They walk the corridors with all the pictures, all the trophies, all the history. And they don't care. They literally don't care. They're just there to put X in amount of money into the club and hope to get Y amount of money back. Just as long as they turn a profit, that's fine for them. And they probably have other ventures that they probably care more about. And soccer and football, owning a club is just one of them. It's just part of their portfolio, and they don't care. They don't care. That's as simply as I could put it. These owners don't care about anything other than their wallet. And, Gary Neville and Rio Ferdinand, they had emotional and passionate responses. I like what Rio Ferdinand said. He said, "This is a war on football." Completely agree. It's a war on football. It's a war against the fans. They just turn on the fans. And I feel like soccer without the fans is nothing. We've seen that throughout the pandemic. Yeah, we still enjoy the soccer. We still enjoy seeing our favorite players play week in and week out. But without the fans being there, without the atmosphere, it's not the same. It's not close to being the same. And right as we're starting to get through this pandemic, right as, there's hope that, we're going to start seeing full stadiums again. We're going to make it through this pandemic. We're going to help the smaller clubs out so that they don't have to furlough their players. We're going to help, any team that needs financial help. The leagues are going to help them. Everyone's going to be able to stay afloat. And now we see this selfishness, this me mentality that these owners have is just sickening. It's disgusting. Gary Neville said this is a criminal act against the fans. Completely agree. Fans who have struggled in this pandemic to put food on their table, to keep their family healthy, to keep going to work day in and day out. Essential workers who still look at soccer as escape, as a way to not go insane, to keep their sanity. Soccer has been sports in general, but soccer for a lot of people has been, the escape, the one thing that you have to look forward to when, I've had family members that got COVID. I know a lot of people that got COVID, a lot that had family that got COVID. This year has been tough, but soccer has been there to distract you for 2 hours, distract you for a whole Saturday morning, a whole Sunday morning. And now I know a lot of people that just feel so detached from their team. And I know how passionate they've been about their team. I know how much they care about their team. But what the owners have done, what the owners have basically said by doing this, is that they don't care about the fans. They don't care about the history. they just care about their money, and that is super sad to see. It's a sad realization to come to on yesterday, Sunday, and now today, a day after the news broke, that they really just care about the money, and they don't care about. I mean, we kind of in the back of your head, you kind of know that. You kind of know that you're supporting the team because you like what they represent, but at the end of the day, the owner just wants to line their pockets with money. I mean, we kind of know that. It's naive to think that they don't care about the money, but you're always hopeful to think that, yeah, obviously they want to make money. They want to, turn their investments into profit. But you always think, you have that hope that, hey, they still care about us. It's not just about the money. It's a two-way street. Like, they want to make money, but they also want to satisfy the fans. They always want to put a good show out there, and they want to, respect the roots of soccer. They want to respect the history of soccer or football. But now, more than ever, it's evident that they just care about the money. And, I mean, it's not just right now that this has been evident. Over the years, Premier League, it's not just the owners. It's everybody that's involved in soccer that it's just become more and more evident that they just care about the money. The Premier League used to be way easier to watch in the U.S. I'm in the U.S. I could only speak about the U.S., but you just had to have NBC Sports. Now you need Peacock. If you want to watch Bundesliga, you need ESPN Plus. If you want to watch your English club play in the FA Cup, and you want to see them play in the Premier League, you got to have, cable, some type of cable package, some type of streaming package to have the NBC Sports. And you got to have Peacock if they have games on Peacock. And if you want to see that same team in the FA Cup, you have to have ESPN Plus. And if you so happen to be a La Liga fan too, you got to have beIN Sports. And if you want to watch them in Champions League, you got to have CBS, the CBS Sports streaming service, which I think Paramount, I think they renamed it to. But every year it just seems like you need to pay more and more and more to be able to watch your favorite teams compete during the week. And during the pandemic, Sky and BT charged £15 in England for fans to watch pay-per-view games of their favorite team. So, the evidence is there. More and more, these TV networks, these owners, they just care about the money. They've turned our favorite leagues, our favorite teams into a cash cow, and they just want to keep milking it and milking it and milking it. And it's sad to see, because us as fans, I could speak for myself, but I know that a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that follow soccer is one of the most passionate sports that you could be a fan of. It's different than football. It's different than basketball. The attachment that you feel for a soccer team. European nights, Champions League nights. I've seen some documentaries like, watching Liverpool, watching Manchester City, and I haven't been fortunate enough to see a Champions League game live, but I've seen it on TV. I've seen some documentaries. I've always hoped of seeing a Champions League game live. The energy is different. The energy that the fans bring, the European fans, the attachment, the loyalty that these fans have to their teams is just on a whole different level. And like pundits have said yesterday, these stadiums, these teams have been there forever. Through wars, through famines, through sickness. They've been hospitals. They've been voting centers. They've been food banks. They've been everything to these communities in England, in Spain, in Italy. They've been everything for these communities, and for owners to just turn on them, to just think of their profit margin is sickening. It's disgusting, and I can't stand by it. So I hope this league doesn't pass, but I think the damage has already been done. I think soccer is trending in the wrong way. Worldwide football is trending in the wrong way, and you can see it. You can see it like throughout, not just in Europe, but I think of Liga MX, the Mexican soccer league. They just suspended the relegation, so all the teams in the first division have safety. They can't get relegated, and this is something along those lines where teams just don't want to compete. They want to have that security that they'll always be whole. They'll always make their profits, and that's not what world football is about. The promotion system is ingrained in football history, and I think it should stay that way. And honestly, Real Madrid, as much as I'm a Real Madrid fan, it doesn't surprise me that they're part of this. That they're always on the front foot for any type of venture that would make them money. But there's clubs like Liverpool that have sayings like "You'll never walk alone." There's other sayings across that these teams use, and us as fans, we buy into these sayings. We think they actually mean it. We think we're part of something bigger than us. We think we're part of a community. We think we're part of the team. When we talk about the team, we use terms like oh, we beat this team. We're gonna sign this team. We feel so connected to these teams that we really feel like we're a part of them. We have no stake in this. We have no ownership in these teams. We're just so loyal to these teams. We're so connected to these teams that we think we're part of them. And all these sayings, all the chants that the fans of these teams chant year in and year out, filling up the stands, they mean nothing. It's just now they're showing us that that's just a marketing tactic. They're just fooling us. They're just using all these sayings, all these catchy phrases to get us to feel more connected to the team, to get us more invested in the team, to shell out more money, to watch these teams, to be there in person, to buy their jerseys every year in and year out. And it's sickening. It's a slap in the face. It's really eye-opening as a soccer fan, as a football fan, how much they don't care about us, how much this is just about the money, and how selfish these owners are and how much they just care about the money. And one of the things that really rubs me the wrong way is some of these teams that are in this so-called European Super League, they haven't been good. They haven't been a key figure in their leagues for a while. Arsenal, AC Milan, Inter Milan, they haven't done much these last few years. AC Milan, Inter, the Juve, all right. If we are off to go by merit, yeah, all right. Juve kind of deserves to be in the Super League. If it was by merit, they've been dominating the Italian league. But Inter and AC, they haven't done squat, and they just think they could always be in the best tournament of Europe when they've struggled to qualify for Champions League. Also, Tottenham hasn't won a domestic trophy in over 60 years. They haven't won the league in over 60 years. What gives them the right to be in this European Super League when there's nothing super about them? It's just crazy. This whole idea is just ridiculous and with so many angles. It was really disappointing. It's still very disappointing today, a day after. It's sad. It's a sad day for football. It's a sad day for fans all over the world. And I hope it doesn't go through. I hope UEFA and FIFA punish these teams. And by no means am I singing the praises of UEFA or FIFA. They themselves have done a lot of shady stuff. There's a lot of corruption within those two federations. But there needs to be some type of checks and balances implemented. This should get refuted. This should be thrown into the dirt. This should never go through. But this is also a wake-up call for FIFA, for UEFA, to step it up, to be more transparent, to not be part of the problem, to be part of the solution, to be more transparent, to end all these corruption in soccer, and all the bribing, all the money that gets spent to get World Cups, to get these tournaments. We need to get rid of corruption in soccer. We need to get rid of, owners that are just there for themselves and not for the fans. But overall, very sad day in soccer, and we'll see how this turns out. I hope it doesn't go through. I hope we respect the roots and the history of football, and I hope we don't turn our heads on these teams that need the big clubs in their domestic leagues to keep afloat. They need these matchups in the FA Cup, like Charlietown against Liverpool or something. They need this income from playing the big teams. And one of the quotes I've been seeing around the internet is "compassion keeps us alive," and that's true. I completely agree with that. That's part of being human, is being compassionate, like looking to your neighbor and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna be there for you." Not just because I know you or because you're part of my life, but because I'm being compassionate, and that's part of what keeps us alive. And I think these big teams, these owners, they're just thinking about themselves. They're just thinking about the money. They have no compassion for their little brothers, their other teams in the league, in the third division. They don't care about the pyramid system. They just care about themselves. And JP Morgan Chase came with the bag full of money, and they took it, and they're trying to run with it. But I hope us as fans, us as pundits, the media. I hope we all punish them and this doesn't happen. But let me know what you guys think. I think this is a terrible idea. I think this has the potential to destroy football as we know it. But let me know, is there any positive out of this that you guys could think of, or are you guys more in line with my thinking, the negativity of this?